Welcome to At Your Service, the service management podcast on the CRM Audio Network, with your hosts, Business Solutions MVPs Sarah Jelinek, Scott LeFante, and Sean Tabor. Resco is a leading provider of mobile solutions for Dynamics 365. Resco Mobile CRM is an invaluable tool for the field service engineer working in field service for Dynamics 365. Other solutions from Resco include Route Planner, which combines geographic and calendar data, even taking into account variables such as traffic and weather, to ensure that your field agents plan the optimal route possible to their work sites. Resco also offers inspections, which allows you to create, assign, complete, and evaluate field inspections with ease. Inspections enables you to shape every step of your inspection process. For more information on these solutions, or to request a demo for any of their offerings, visit www.resco.net. We thank Resco for sponsoring this episode of At Your Service. Welcome to another episode of At Your Service, the service management related podcast on the CRM Audio Network. I am your host, Sean Tabor, and today, and in perpetuity, I can't even say that word, we are, as every other podcast on the CRM Audio Network, apparently, an all MVP podcast with my co-hosts, Scott LeFante and Sarah Jelinek. Hey, guys.
Hey, Sean.
Hey, Sean. How's it going?
Let me ask you, how are you doing? I mean, you guys are MVPs. I mean, I know we talked a little bit about it. For those of you who listen to the mothership, CRM Audio, we talked about it a little bit there, but how are you guys feeling about it?
I'm super excited. I'm fabulous today.
And you know what? For those of you who listen frequently, you're noticing that Sarah is right in the front of the episode, which I guess, does this mean that it's diva time all the time? Pretty much.
That sounds like a good time to me.
Well, it's like 5 o'clock. It's always 5 o'clock somewhere, right? So it's diva time somewhere.
There we go. I like that, Scott. Nice one.
So it's perfect.
It's diva time somewhere. I think we have a new button. I think Summit.
I think so, yes.
I think for Summit we need it's diva time somewhere. Yeah.
All right. I will make a note of that. Yes. Might give prizes out to people that actually wear them, so let's do that.
Exactly. Well, I'm excited, and hopefully, with our schedules, hopefully we can align to where we're all three on the podcast all the time. But we're gonna go like we normally go, service oriented and all that kind of good stuff. But now with us all three being MVPs, it's gonna hopefully bring a little bit more to the table. And I'm really excited. I'm very, very happy for you guys. It's very well deserved. So.
Thank you.
So that being said, since it's diva time all the time, why don't we let Sarah kick it off? And I think you wanted to talk a little bit about portals, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes, I do. Actually, as you were referencing the other podcast that we recorded for, kind of the mothership, not quite the big show like this one is. I had talked about presenting at CRM User Group Focus in Indianapolis, and I was talking about just a session I had about the top 11 features of customer service. And one of those items was working around portals and the concept of self-service. Now, I kept hearing the word portals for so many years, and I could probably tell you about 3 or 4 years ago, probably more like 3 because time flies. I got to attend just a quick how do you customize portal session. It was, I think, at the end of a conference, it was a half day on one day, and then the half day the next day. And that was about all the exposure I had to working with portals. And I kept telling myself, I really want to learn more. I really want to learn more. And as I was thinking about this and like, okay, how could portals help us? I know it's really beneficial. When I was prepping for this session, I decided, what? Let me just see if I can throw a portal out there and deploy it, maybe like a self-service one, and just see what I can do. Maybe I can kind of tweak some things, find my way to get to where at least I can look at some knowledge articles. So take my time. I go out and deploy my portal and go do some other things while we're waiting for it to initiate and load, and being able to view it. And all of a sudden I'm like, all right, let me try find some knowledge articles. And it just worked. I was just shocked that it really didn't have to do anything other than
really
just
cool.
create the portal. I fell in love. I'm like, wow, I don't mind that it says, Contoso on the name, and that, it doesn't have necessarily any branding on it. But I just thought, wow, this is a great way for us to, you really just give people a head start on implementing customer service. Immediately, I quickly went out and published an article, and I saw that information right there. And even if I don't make it accessible to everybody outside in the real world, I could at least have a URL that people in my internal staff might be able to look at that we don't need to consume a user license for. And I just think that's really awesome. And that, if I mess it up, all right, I can always go back and reset it, or, reinstall it again and not have to worry about it. So that was just kind of my aha moment as I was prepping for this. I went and set up one user for me to log in, tested creating cases right away. And it's amazing. It works. And going from 3.0 and all the work you had to do to set things up like that, to have this point where I just click a few buttons and wait a little bit, it's right there. I just think it's awesome.
Yeah,
and if you're wondering,
setting up that contact security provider and all that kind of crazy ADX Studio stuff you had to do back in the day.
Yep.
Ugh.
Yeah, and if you're hesitating on doing anything with portals, just put it out there. Starting at just what's available out of the box, I think is adequate for anyone to utilize, and then take your time to get ready to deploy, or figure out how you want to customize it even further. So well done on the ease of using these portals for us now.
Yeah, absolutely. And I was playing around with Partner Portal this week, because with Partner Portal there's some much like the self-service portal. You have the ability to, if you have installed field service and project service, there's add-ons for the portal for field service and project service as well. So to expose those elements, and it was really easy to do that as well. One of the really amazing things to me, and well, I'm not going to lie to you, I'm easily amazed, but one of the things I thought was pretty amazing was with the Partner Portal, like you're saying with the self-service, out of the box, you don't do anything. There's a partner onboarding process and page all ready to go. So if I'm an external partner that wants to become a partner with a company, I can fill out the form. It sends the information through to Dynamics. There's workflows to further engage. It's amazing. So I mean, imagine you have that, and then on your forms within Dynamics, you have insights, or you have LinkedIn widgets to get more details about the company that just came through your portal. You have a lot of content, a lot of information to act on right away. And as easy as that is to do, I was floored. So I think that's fantastic. I agree with you.
Absolutely.
Mr. Scott, what have you done with portals? Anything much?
Recently, no. In the good old days of ADX Studio, oh yes. I remember having to go through and just get the solution installed and going through all those steps, and it was, especially the first couple times you do it, it's pretty daunting. It's like, wait, how do I do that again? Where do I have to go? Besides just playing with some of the portals in my own little sandbox environment, I mean, it's super easy compared to how it used to be. So,
right.
I do like it. I've been playing around with the field service pieces a little bit, of course, since that's my passion. But it's a heck of a lot easier. That's all I know.
Yeah. And just to be clear, for our friends of the podcast, Colin and Grant out there, we're not bad mouthing the old ADX Studio capabilities. Ooh. No, it's just you come a long way, and we're proud of you. So it works great now.
Yes.
Now, I'm not saying I'm going to go and do all the development work. Just because it's easier for someone like me doesn't mean you don't need someone like Colin and everybody else to go ahead and do some of that work.
Right.
But just to get it stood up.
It really depends on your implementation. But just the base objects, being able to find a KB article, or to have a customer open a case, or to view work orders that partner has assigned. They've made it incredibly easy and really seamless. So it's good stuff.
I feel like I'm cheating when it's that easy to start off with, but you're absolutely right. I think it just exposes the capabilities of what you can do, where you're going to need someone, like you say, Colin and Grant, to come in and then make it, even that much better to help people complete their vision of what they want to see.
Yep, exactly.
Probably should be a portal exam at some point.
Ooh.
Why you want more exams? Why you want more exams?
I don't know. Just why not?
I like letters after my name as well. So, hey, let's...
Hey, I'm outvoted. Oh, my God. I don't know what to do right now. I'm used to bossing Scott around. I can't do that anymore. Okay,
right.
fine.
We're equals now.
I see how... Well, let's not get crazy. Just kidding. So that's awesome. I'm going to continue to play around with the partner portal, and maybe write up something on our blog at the atyourservicepod.com site to talk about the experience. So that's good stuff. Scott.
Yes.
You just recently posted, nice segue, you're talking about the blog. Thank you very much. You just posted a blog article on resource utilization.
Correct.
Let's talk about that a little bit. So in case our listeners haven't been out to the At Your Service Pod blog post or blog site, talk a little bit about what you wrote up in the blog and what it means.
Okay. So one of the nice features about project service automation is it has a nice grid, almost like the schedule board. But it's primarily, the use for it is to track your resources utilization on projects. So this is where, for organizations such as Hitachi Solutions, where you could easily see, hey, if Scott has he met his utilization goal? Is he under? Is he close to it? And you can look at it, monthly, weekly, or even daily at that point in time. The issue becomes is everyone thinks it's real simple in terms of, hey, I put in time against the project on my time entry, it gets approved, and happy day, I should see my utilization on the utilization screen update. And that answer is a big fat no. And this came up it comes up a lot, and it's come up on projects I've worked on with testing teams, where all of a sudden they'll sit there and say, well, it's not updating, so it must be broken. And for those listening, it's not broken. So what you have to do is go through steps in order to get the utilization to update properly, such as, hey, what is your work hours? All right. You don't work all day long, right? You work 8 hours a day or whatever it may be. So your work hours on the resource have to be updated. Your target utilization, whether it's on your resource or the role that you're assigned to, that's your default, has to have a utilization percentage. And then the flip side is projects that you work on have to have a contract. So think of a contract as an SOW, and that has to be in place. And the blog article shows some screenshots of the various components, and it shows a time and materials project. And for the time and materials project, it works really, really well. I had some folks read the article and say, hey, what about the fixed fee project and it being non-chargeable? There was a issue in the past where that didn't update. And so I went back and I did some additional testing and confirmed that those scenarios are still not calculating the utilization correctly. Microsoft is aware of that, and at some point in the future, they will go ahead and potentially put out a fix for that. But so they are aware. I think most of the folks that are working with PSA are aware of it as well. The nice thing is, though, is if you really wanted to have the resource utilization captured on non-billable or fixed fee projects, there are ways to go about doing that, whether it's with an SSIS report or even a Power BI report. And I know Chris Huntingford has built some great dashboards in Power BI for resource utilization and forecasting.
Okay, cool. We'll try to grab some. I think he posted that on LinkedIn, did he not?
He did, and he's actually provided me with the Power BI files. So I just need to kind of, if you could see me, I have my hands going like the evil doctor. Just install that in Power BI and start playing right.
Well, what we'll have to do is we'll have to get the link to that LinkedIn post and put that in the show notes. That's good stuff. But so even with the limitations, we're still able to report on it, and but just not in the native way for all types of projects. Pretty much.
Correct. And the interesting thing too is on the blog you'll see if you scroll down to one of the screenshots, it actually shows that I'm at 103% utilization. My target's 85, so I'm not utilized minus 3%. So clearly it just means I'm over capacity. But so it does have that feature there. And if you hover over a resource, you can sit and see the utilization section where it says here's your target, your billable, non-billable, internal, and not utilized.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's that non-billable internal pieces that don't seem to want to play nicely in the sandbox yet.
Okay. All right. But it sounds like we have thanks to Chris and the Power BI templates, it sounds like we at least have some good some workarounds to get to that data. So that's good.
Definitely. So what I'll do is in the near future is I'll get that installed and probably do an update to that blog.
Nice. Another thing I wanted to talk about, and I know we mentioned this briefly on the mothership, CRM Audio, but we just had D365 Saturday in Atlanta, and I just wanted to mention that because it was such a cool event. If you get a chance to attend one of these events in your area, do so. If you're a Dynamics 365 professional and you have a chance to participate and present, do it. It's great. I mean, the sessions are of a really good size, typically 20 to 25. And you really get some good interaction with the people that are attending. Also, it's at typically at a Microsoft office, so the facilities are really good. And for one of my particular sessions, I did build a Power App in 90 minutes or less, and I was on the far end of when you divide up a big room, I was on the far end. And it didn't have a whiteboard, but it did have a Surface Hub. So I see this and I'm thinking, oh my goodness, there's a Surface Hub. So what I did is I logged into web.powerapps.com on the Surface Hub so that I could show the Power App that I was building and do drag and drop and all kinds of stuff with my finger. And there came a point in the session where I was having so much fun with the Surface Hub, I had to literally stop using it so that I could move the presentation along because I was getting distracted and I was going, "This is fun," and but we did build a Canvas app in 90 minutes, and it was a really fun experience. And I think the attendees got a lot out of it. So if you get a chance, I would definitely encourage you to attend a D365 Saturday. For our UK listeners, I believe there's one coming up in July. We'll put a link in the show notes for that one. And I think the aforementioned Chris Huntingford will be there and for another pod. And it should be a great time. Mr. Scott.
Yes.
How about before we wrap up, how about we talk a little bit about the issue we found today with PSA and the scheduled start date or any of the date fields, really.
Yeah.
So
it's a great topic that I'm not sure many of our listeners would really even be aware of. I think we just stumbled upon it.
So here's the scenario, and Sarah, you let me know if you run into something similar. Maybe not with PSA, but it could be with any, with a date field, just in general. So in our project that we're on, we have to import. We're bringing in data from an ERP system, and for the projects, for the scheduled start, didn't have a time value in the date time field. Now, the default fields for PSA for the dates, MS-DYNE _ scheduled start date, for example. It's a date only field, but it's user local for the behavior. So it's in terms of time zones. You're familiar with how all that works with a date time field with a new change for user local. User local is pretty much the behavior that the field was forever, right? Now they have the time zone independent setting, and they have the data only setting where it doesn't look at time at all. So we did a test. We created 2 custom attributes to test the data only or the data only time zone independent, and we reran the integration. The data came over and it looked good with the custom attributes. So we did that as a test to see if we could change the setting for the scheduled start date. Once we did the test, everything looked like it was fine. So we said, okay, let's change the setting. What we did not realize, and I don't know if it's documented, but it will be on the atyourservicepod.com site really soon, is that when you do that, the native Microsoft project integration says, you know what? I'm going to go ahead and leave. I'm not going to work for you right now. So
yeah, that was a fun test.
Yes.
So what I was trying to test was, with this integration, we had, hundreds and hundreds of lines of project tasks and not parented really well on our side. So I wanted to see if there was any sort of timeout issue that was going on with the WBS. And so I did a couple loads within the environment, and I didn't have any success. I said, well, let me go into MS Project with the plugin. I'll just load it into MS Project. I'll update it into Dynamics, and then happy day. Mm-hmm. Well, okay, that worked. That was fine. That was great. The problem is when you go back into MS Project and you go to pull it back up, you get a lovely conversion could not be completed error because the supplied date and time does not have the kind property set correctly.
Right.
I'm like, well, I guess it's unkind.
Yeah. And the kind is looking for user local. So that's a great thing to understand now. And we're in the process of remediating that. So, but that's an interesting thing to have. So if you have a situation where you're importing data into your project's tasks, make sure that you either accommodate for date time, or you understand how, if you're have multiple time zones that you're impacted by, how that is going to affect you. And keep an eye out for the atyourservicepod.com site for the blog post update on that coming soon. So, well, I think this brings us to the end of the main part for the first all MVP at your service. Felt pretty good to me. What do you guys think?
Yeah, I think we need a new logo now too. We're at your service, and we have to put MVP somewhere in there.
Oh, I thought you were going to say we need a new logo, and you need to put my face on it. goodness
No.
sakes. So, I definitely got to record a new intro. I think I established that. So, by now you have heard. Well, so I just said that, but you just listened to the new intro because that was done before the. It's a paradox. I can't get around it. So, I guess this is as good a place as any to kick it over to Agnes with Resco for our Resco Minute, and we'll be back. Off to you, Agnes.
Hello and welcome to this week's episode. My name is Agnes. I'm the marketing director here at Resco, and this week I'm going to discuss with you a bit about our route planner. So when relying on the workforce in the field, be it mobile sales, field service, or anything else heavily dependent on people outside of the office, effective planning is definitely key to success. A field rep, sales rep, and a service technician shouldn't spend more time dealing with administrative tasks and traveling than being with the actual customer. So route planning for field reps works best when it's made mobile and always up to date. The market is full of route planning and route optimizing solutions. However, wouldn't it be easier to just simply plan your daily activities and routes within the same app you use to manage all the customer data, sales, and service processes? I would think so. So Resco Mobile Solution gives unlimited access to all your CRM data and so much more. But when it comes to planning, organizing, and optimizing your activities, it makes for what we call an ultimate road warrior. So save time, fuel expenses, organize data with clarity, spend more time with customers, manage all the appointments planned for the day, and be more efficient with Resco's built-in route planning component. This way you can diminish sales and service agents, hours of manual planning by adding scheduled activities on the map and then getting an estimated arrival time for each appointment. You can select from accounts, contacts, leads, or any other entity visually on the map, and then you can choose them based on proximity and adjacent jobs and figure out the optimal order of your tasks for the day. Route planning, this feature of the Resco mobile app calculates the distance and driving time between each visit. So you can actually see if there's a smarter way to arrange visits and eliminate waiting periods. However, in the second half of 2018, we're taking this to a whole new level. So to keep up with the staff and manage their work seamlessly, team managers and schedulers will be able to plan routes and keep track of employees' work progresses with a brand new route planner product by Resco. So combining geographic and calendar data, even taking into account variables such as traffic and weather. So it's fully interactive. The route planner gives a clear overview of your staff and the tasks at hand. Utilizing the map and the calendar view with real-time data, you'll always know who can drop in for a customer visit or answer any last-minute service requests. In the route planner, you'll have the information on traffic control, road closures, and even accidents. So you'll always know when your staff needs to take a detour because of a traffic jam, which threatens the successful completion of the next job on time. So with the built-in time scheduler, you can view how the team has progressed throughout the day, and based on past and current data, the route planner dynamically updates the schedule of your staff. So you can even view a forecast for the near future developments. The main premise is a combination of geo information with time information. So plotting the activities of the users on a map should provide visibility into where the users are now and where they have been and what are their plans. This can be complemented with additional information like territories or weather for effective real-time user management. This new product should be available by the end of the year, but if you'd like to know more, then you can reach out to us at www.resco.net, give a free trial, a whirl, and see if it fits your criteria. If you have any questions or concerns, reach out to us and we'll be happy to help you. Take care.
On behalf of myself, Sean Tabor, my co-host Scott LeFante, and the Dynamics 365 diva, Sarah Jelinek, we thank you for listening and subscribing to the podcast. You can reach us at voice@crm.audio. On Twitter, you can follow us, CRM Hobbit for me, for Scott, at FLD Service_Guru, and of course, at Dyne365 Diva for Sarah. For more information and content about what we spoke about on this episode and others, visit our blog at atyourservicepod.com. This has been At Your Service on the CRM Audio Network, a production of Dynamic Podcasts, LLC.